This morning on The Dish, Emma Bengtsson of Manhattan's Aquavit, the first Swedish female chef to earn 2 Michelin stars and a semifinalist for this year's James Beard Awards. Not only is she one of the top women in her industry, she's also opening the door for the next generation as the latest Michelin Guide Mentor Chef Award winner. Born in Sweden, she developed a taste for her grandmother's cooking, a taste she now takes great pride in sharing with those lucky enough to get a seat.
Do you have the board and the glass jars for the herring?
At Manhattan's Aquavit, the kitchen is a symphony of sorts.
Come with them in a little pot.
With executive chef Emma Bengtsson
I'm gonna put this to the side.
and her team creating melodic delights rooted in her native Sweden. And while diners may believe it's their view of it all that's priceless, Bengtsson disagrees.
It gives everyone who works in the kitchen a sense of happiness, seeing guests devour plates and seeing their work being served and guests looking up to the serving go like, wow. This is like,
A response I had time and time again in sitting down with Bengtsson to get a taste.
that saltiness with the lemony
Starting with some caviar.
should hit you perfectly, I hope.
Yeah, it does.
That works?
Part of Aquavit's dining room tasting menu, one of 2 experiences the restaurant offers.
2 herrings, one with no horseradish.
The other for the barroom, more traditional Swedish cuisine, including a herring trio, matjes with red onions and sour cream, glassblower, which is pickled, and Bengtsson's personal favorite, mustard, served alongside potatoes and cheese.
I love it. I can do that instead of candy or chips in front of the TV at night.
I'm sold.
Eat a little bit of herring every day. And
I
you'll be
guarantee you
fine.
my mother's gonna see this and die because I remember being a kid and I'm like, I don't want that. I'm not touching that.
In the dining room, seasonality leads. A grilled lobster accompanied by sunchoke confit with Vendis roe and a dill butter sauce. A seared duck breast served with house-made barley sausage, broccolini, and a Meyer lemon puree.
It's the highlight of the season for me during the cold month because it really gives that warmth.
In the barroom, a favored status belongs to the Swedish meatballs, an item on the menu even before Bengtsson took over, tweaking them to fit the flavor profile she grew up with.
Am I tasting a little of what your mom or your grandmother might have done with your meatballs growing up?
Yes, definitely. We have a lot of Swedish who comes and some of them go like, well, they're not as good as my grandma. But then some of them go like, please don't tell her, but these are better.
Bengtsson was raised in a small town in the Swedish countryside, cooking alongside her grandmother. But her early aspirations were outside the culinary sphere.
Did I read this correctly? You wanted to be a fighter pilot?
I did, yeah. I think I was so fascinated with seeing movies about it, but the power and the speed and the adrenaline of it.
She found a similar rush in the restaurant space, along with a military precision in the kitchen. She credits an internship in a 2 Michelin-starred restaurant outside Stockholm for setting her career in motion.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I walked in the door and this big guy just grabbed me and said, okay, you're gonna help me. And I was like, okay, sure. Well, what are you? And he's like, I'm the pastry chef. I was like, okay. And that just changed my perspective of everything.
How?
I think writing everything down, recipes, planning, always staying 5 days ahead, it really worked with my control freak in me. I fell in love with that, and that's what brought me to Aquavit in New York, too.
Recruited to the restaurant in 2010, she'd work as Aquavit's head pastry chef for the next 4 years,
I pull it out.
creating desserts that are still on the menu, like this princess cake, sponge cake with layers of raspberry jam, vanilla pastry cream, and whipped cream covered in marzipan.
So crazy good. And I'm going to finish the whole thing. I'm just trying to pretend like I'm not going to.
The Arctic bird's nest, a honey tulle nest with goat cheese parfait eggs dipped in chocolate atop a blueberry sorbet. There are chocolate branches, gold leaves, and to finish, a sprinkle of yogurt snow. It took almost a year to create, But an even bigger challenge came in 2014 when Bengtsson was asked to take over the kitchen. So when they first asked, you said,
No.
Are you crazy? Why not?
I live in this world where I'm still just a small town girl, I think, and never thought of myself as someone who could do it or get there. And it's still today a big struggle to realize that I'm actually doing it.
6 months after temporarily taking over, Aquavit earned a second Michelin star, making Bengtsson just the second woman in the U.S. with 2. 10 years later, both she and those stars remain.
To your hotel.
Credit, she says, to her team, and Bengtsson hopes inspiration as well.
Well, it's definitely a sense of pride, but I also hope that it's a carrot, an incentive as well for the younger generation of women to have someone to look at and say, well, she did it.
Yeah.
We can do it. Whenever I meet people, I was like, hey, this is my phone number, this is my email, any questions, even if you just want to come in for a day,
Wow.
let's get the ball
That's
rolling.
so generous.
I think it's more the right way to see it.
Really amazing what she's doing in helping mentor the next generation, and amazing food. We could
Okay.
not bring it all. It would not have transported well, even from here in New York. So you have the princess cake here, which good luck not finishing it,
Okay.
and the herring with the potatoes and cheese, homemade bread. It really is a beautiful experience there, and Emma is credited her team so much with what she's been able to create, and I love that about her, that it is truly, as Michelle takes a potato with her finger, eat the cake, that she really wants it to be an experience for everyone and bring everybody into it.
She wants the potatoes and the herring.
I know.
I want that thing with the gold leaves and
The
yogurt.
bird's nest.
Yogurt snow.
I'm telling you, when you eat
What
one of
is
those
yogurt
eggs,
snow?
it's yogurt that was the drizzle of the snow that is frozen enough so that it can drizzle as a snow. Right?
Oh, my
She
God.
talked about desserts wanting it to be like this light, airy thing. You don't feel overwhelmed and like, oh God, I can't eat another bite. But it's still that yumminess.
Delicious.
Yes. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you.